What is going on, everybody? Welcome to episode number 37 of the Everything NYJ podcast. Liam and Gino, your co host as always. Follow us on all social media platforms at Everything NYJ. If you guys happen to like the video that we have in store for you, give it a thumbs up. And if you look down a little below the thumbs up button, there's a subscribe button. If you hit that, it really helps us out. We really do appreciate that. But, anyways, welcome in, everybody. Thank you guys for joining us. Training camp is in full effect. We are in full preseason mode right now. Gino has been killing it, absolutely killing it every day with a video. He's had training camp under control. Thank you, as always, Gino. Since you've been covering training camp, do you want to kick it off?
Yeah, buddy. It's been a whirlwind today. The offense, everything. Even the defense has stepped up a lot too, which is really nice to see. We're gonna talk about Salah's press conference, what he did with that. He said there's good content on the pads. He really loves the competition. It was a good day for that. Um, you know, the offense is still getting adjusted to the system. And I think he was kind of downplaying that the offense didn't do that
Yeah.
great today. But overall, I mean, it's early. It's only week two. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on. He's still talking about those Guardian caps a lot, so it's pretty funny. He's 50-50 about it. He's not going to go to the NFL board or anything. It's just what he wants. He did mention that less mistakes going into training camp this year than last year because it's a new system. I really like when he said that. He said defense was much better from the get go, and even though he said offense was kind of poor, the drive on defense with Whitehead, he was a leader in that all like the whole time with Reed as well. It was really good to see. Zach Wilson was 50-50 today. It's kind of like his first drive. It was really cool. I mean, it looked like a BYU flashback, and
Yep.
I mean
That
that's
touchdown.
cool. That's cool, but we all want to see more. But just like a lot of people have been saying, it's what they're covering, like now, it's not going to be there later on. Like they're just going through the kinks, and I get that. So with everything going on, it'll be fine. Now the big one today was Alexander. Great shape. He didn't expect to be in great shape. He was good, quick learner. He had a good sack today. Great player to be around, and he adds that little spark and depth. It was really nice having those three right there. I mean, I loved it. I enjoyed the highlights with that one. He did comment on JJ not getting
Yep.
many reps, but he still believes in him. We're still all good. You got to keep back and forth. You got to keep subbing him out, but he's learning. He's on the right path, which is good. So there's no worry there. Um, Let me tell you, Salah is in love with Martin, number 54 on defense. The coaches love him. They love what he brings. He loves the quickness and the leadership and versatility that he has. I mean, he literally was the Texans' leader in everything last year, and I mean, 100%. So it's really nice to see. I do have an update on Tevin Coleman from Coach Sal from his press conference. He said he could be back this week. He's still working off to the side.
Right.
So it's
Yeah,
just a lot back and forth.
exactly. First practice in pads. That was super exciting. Um, the offensive line didn't look so well. In previous days with the pads even off. But it's harder for the offensive line than it is for the defensive line because it's just on offense, it's a lot of up and down motion, a lot of push and pulls. And obviously, you can't really do that without the pads on. So that's why the defense typically does start hotter every year than the offense does, I'd like to say.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
yeah,
The
the defense was
chemistry.
better today. And
Yeah,
are you concerned at all, or?
glad you asked that. I'm not. I was, but Zach looks so much better, this year. But I think he's not really showing us it yet but it's still early. I think by the end of the third preseason game, I think you'll see a lot more go on. I really like what Flacco's doing. He
Yeah.
hasn't missed a step. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But now I'm not. I think he'll be fine.
You know what's a little interesting to me is ever since, well, right after the first day of training camp, you really haven't heard Denzel Mims' names called. I mean, he was arguing with Lawrence Cager on the sideline on Saturday, but my stance on Denzel Mims has changed a little bit.
Real.
And what I mean by that is I still like the player. I
Yeah.
like him on the Jets, but
Yeah.
I'm kind of leaning more towards he won't be a Jet week 1.
You think so? Okay.
I'm
Well,
leaning towards that. And the reason I say that is because he shows the flashes, yes, but he's not going to earn first team reps. I don't see it happening. You have Corey Davis,
okay.
you have Elijah Moore, you have Garrett Wilson and Braxton Berrios. That's your top 4 right there.
Yeah.
Denzel Mims, a second round draft pick only a couple years ago. I think he
Yeah.
wants to prove that he could be a starter in this league, and I don't think he's going to have that chance on the Jets. I don't see him beating out Corey Davis. I don't see him beating out Elijah Moore. I don't see
Right.
him beating out Garrett Wilson. And
Yeah.
I don't see him beating out Braxton Berrios that he just paid. So I'm thinking, he might ask for a trade, and they might be hyping him up to give him that trade.
I don't know. I
What do you
mean,
think?
I don't know. Mike LaFleur said in his press conference today that he likes what Mims is doing, making great strides, making good plays. I mean, they're excited. They're excited about him. I mean, they like that he's back on the field and everything. I mean, I'm kind of up and down about Mims. I know a lot of people are too, but I think he'll be fine. If we trade him, we trade him. If we don't, we don't. It's like Mike White. If we trade him, we trade him. If we
Yeah.
don't, we don't. It's like Bryce
The
Hall
thing
too.
with
But
yeah.
LaFleur loves what he's seeing from him though.
Oh, absolutely. And I don't know. This part of me thinks that like LaFleur's playbook is more like obviously like slants, and it's not really like a fly playbook. Where Denzel Mims
Right.
is kind of more of a deep threat, or more of a contested catch kind of guy. But between Denzel Mims, if he leaves and Corey Davis gets hurt or whatever, then
Yeah.
there's no receiver over 6 feet tall,
Right.
which to me is just nuts. But
Right.
and if I guess Corey Davis has kind of become that deep threat over Denzel Mims. But I
Yeah.
just feel, I don't know, man. I just feel like he was drafted for Adam Gaze's system that was more about going. Well, I mean, let's face it. When he wasn't handing the ball off to Frank Gore, he was
Right.
trying to go deep a little bit. But I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. I did a lot of thought. I thought about it a lot over the weekend, and my mind kind of just changed a little bit on it. But I mean, I could be wrong. I won't. Hey, if I'm wrong, I'm not mad about it. I mean,
Oh yeah.
If
Oh yeah.
Denzel Mims is our number 5 wide receiver, I think we're in pretty good shape. And it's just
Yeah.
we hey man, we've been bitten with the injury bug for many years now. So having somebody who has experience within the system on the depth chart, I don't think is a bad thing.
And I agree with you. And touching base, what Michael Flores said in his press conference. You know, he he had that Bryce Hall. He's very sneaky. He's really good going up against defenders, and he's looking really good right now. So we're adding to Bryce Hall and Carter and all of them, and he even said about Flacco. Flacco, his arm is fresh. He hasn't missed a step.
Yes. Nope,
So
37 years old.
that's really great to see. And then he's super
Yes.
pleased.
I think Gino's frozen there. I don't know what he's
He's
super
just
pleased with.
massive human being.
I'm sorry, Gino, you froze. Can you repeat that?
Yeah, that's okay. He says super pleased to be back. He's a massive human being, and he looks okay.
Mackay Becton?
Now it's one of those things where I think they're playing it off. I think they're playing it off. With Becton.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
but I mean, I like it. I like that he's saying all the good things. He is a massive human
Oh,
being.
absolutely.
And he is working hard. He said, and also the offensive line is going to lean on those guys. I mean, the offensive line, everyone's going to lean on them to be the backbone on the offensive line. It's another thing they said. And then also last part, Marshall did pretty good today. Tim Ward had a sack today. Gudry got an interception today. with an almost sack. But I
Okay.
like that these secondary guys are doing pretty good. You know,
Oh,
I
absolutely.
like that secondary guys are stepping up. He did say something about Zach Wilson today. Like I said, I think they're trying to hide a little bit. You know, like trying to go
To talk him
backward.
up.
Like not really go backwards. Yeah, exactly.
It's
And
it's it's
he'll get there.
it's everything is
He'll
fine.
get there.
Everything's great.
Yeah, he'll
Can I
get there.
touch on the offensive line for a second? Because obviously
Go for it.
George Fant did not participate today,
He did
and
drills. He only did
he did drills.
drills.
He did not
He
do
wasn't in the
not
11 on
11 on
11.
11s.
Yeah.
So with the 11 on 11s, Chuma Doga filled in at left tackle, which
Right.
scares the hell out of me. Which
And
reiterates my
McDermott.
point.
And McDermott.
In
McDermott
McDermott.
had some much needed reps too. Idoga and McDermott.
Which scares me, which kind of reiterates my point why I think that we really need to have some depth at the offensive line. It's great that we got the depth linebacker with Klon Alexander, who's gonna, try to earn that starting spot, which I think is to have. I don't want to get off topic here, but to have two veteran linebackers next to Quincy Williams, that's going to help him grow tremendously. Because I think Quincy Williams has the tools, he just needs the knowledge. But not to get off point, now I'm talking about the offensive line here. I think we need to sign somebody else. If something happens, God forbid, to a George Fant, or I don't want Connor McDermott and Chuma Doga starting on our offensive line week 1.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I hope to God somebody shakes free, or Joe Douglas could do Joe Douglas things and
Right.
make it happen.
I'll,
Please, Joe Douglas, we're
I'm with
begging you. If he gets another offensive line, an offensive lineman, I should say, I
Yeah.
think it's definitely an A+ offseason, because he would have basically theoretically, excuse me, can't talk. Theoretically, he would have covered every hole on this team.
Right.
Outside of the offensive line, can you think of any other big holes? Klon Alexander kind of filled the next big hole that, at least I thought was a hole, linebacker
Right.
position.
Yeah, I mean, linebacker position was a big hole. I think we still need a safety. I still think we need an O lineman, but I like the much needed reps that Doga and McDermott have been doing. Salah did touch base that thank God is taking his time because of other people trying to get more reps. So I am pretty happy
Yeah, that's good.
with that.
Right. I mean, practice is the place to, practice makes perfect. If they're practicing every day, it's only going to make them better. But
Right.
I don't know. There's just a big drop off, from George Fant to Chuma Doga and Connor McDermott.
Okay. What'd you say, Liam?
I was just saying that there's a big drop off, from George Fant to Connor McDermott and Chuma Doga.
Yeah, true. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, that
But
was
yeah,
my
it was a huge. That's all right. Bring them on. Let's say hello.
It's fine. So basically,
Huge day for Klon Alexander, huh?
I mean, here I'm pumped. Did you see his press conference?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, I did.
Oh my
He,
goodness.
he felt welcomed. He feels right at home. He spoke with the Jets, the Giants, and the Saints, and he picked the
Right.
Jets because of Robert Saleh, which is
Right.
exactly what you want from your head coach. You want your head coach to be able to bring in his guys. San Francisco, very good football team. Klon Alexander, former Pro Bowler, and he worked out every day as if he was already on the team. He did 50
Right.
to every one rep. He, like I said, he understands Saleh's scheme, which is great. And he had a few tackles at the point of attack, which is great. He had a nice stick on Ty Johnson, which Ty Johnson's nothing special, but he's doing what's asked of him, which
Right.
is it's like he's coming in and he's not really learning the system. He said that he needs to understand the verbiage a little bit. Like, I guess the verbiage has changed with Robert Saleh from San Francisco to New York. But I think so far, like he's understanding. It's all coming back to him, which is good. He doesn't need to learn the system, so to speak. What do you
Right.
think?
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, he even said in the press conference, his San Francisco connection with this
Yep.
offense is something that maybe he wanted to come for that. It was one of those things. That's
Yeah.
one of the reasons. And
Right. They all made him
And
feel
I think
home.
overall, like exactly, exactly. He feels. I mean, he
You know,
feels legendary being out there with the Jets. He's grinding every
legendary
single day.
vibes.
He wants to be. Yeah, he wants to be out there.
Yep.
I mean, he wants to be out there. So, and he's ready to go. He's ready to go.
Absolutely.
And
Yep.
I mean, he talked about the Jets and Giants. He talked about the Jets and Giants and
The Saints.
you
Yep. And the other thing with, he competed in the 11-on-11 drills, and Gino's frozen.
maybe
Gino, you're frozen, buddy. I don't know if you can hear that. Anyway, I'll take over. He did compete in the 11-on-11 drills, and I wouldn't mind him starting. If he beats out Sherwood or whoever, and if he gets that starting position, then I think that's great. And it's such a cheap, affordable contract, and if he plays great and he proves that he could still be where he wants to be, then I think that maybe we do re-sign him for another year. I understand the injuries have beaten him up. He's older in age now, and you do want to see somebody like a Sherwood. You want to see him, or even like a Nasruddin, get those reps, because nothing beats game reps. But if Klon Alexander, if he ends up being the best guy at the position, then you go with the best guy at the position, And like I said, I was a little critical of it at first. I even made a video, as you guys know, a couple months ago about, if I wanted Klon Alexander on the Jets or not. And I said I wasn't sure, but with the contract, it's high risk. It's low risk, high reward, I should say. Excuse me. And I can't. If you're upset about it, I don't know what to tell you, man. Because I don't think he's going to be on every single rep. I just think it's going to be a little bit of he comes in on certain plays, which is fine with me. Oh, Gina got kicked off. Welcome. Just me here. Luckily, I got some notes this time. Unlike last time, I was completely screwed. But like I said, it was a big day for Klon Alexander. He got, like I said, the reps on 11-on-11s. He was making huge impacts in his debut practice, which you can't ask anything more from a veteran that comes in that wanted to be here. That's the big thing, is that Jets tax, I think, is starting to go away. And I think what this does is this kind of opens up a different path for the Jets, where veterans might start wanting to come here. You saw it with a couple. Laken Tomlinson wanted to be here. CJ Azuma wanted to be here. Klon Alexander now wants to be here, which I think it's fantastic. I think that it's it almost reminds me, and I don't want to get ahead of myself, but it almost reminds me a little bit of the Rex Ryan Jets, where you had a good mixture of the vets and the rookies. Obviously, that team had much more established veterans than this team does. But I think that there's a good mix, and I think a lot of good football teams have that mix where you need the veteran guys to coach up the young guys, but you also want the young guys to get the reps. Excuse me. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about that. So we're gonna get into the offense a little bit, right? Um, Starting off training camp, one of the first plays of camp today. Um, Zach Wilson to Elijah Moore, an 80-yard touchdown pass, and then it kind of fell off from there. Zach Wilson, he started off hot. He did kind of burn out towards the end. Joe Flacco looked great. He had a 7-play drive ending in a 1-yard touchdown to Jeff Smith. But overall, the offense was underwhelming. I don't think that's anything to be too concerned about right now. And they asked Robert Saleh about this in his press conference, and he even said, he said, was it the offense was bad, or was the defense really good? And I don't know, man, because the defense is much improved, obviously, but I have my concerns. But at the same time, I'm like, it's only camp. This is where you make the mistakes. You don't want to be making the mistakes during the real games. So I'm completely fine if Zach Wilson, if they're trying new things, because the offensive playbook isn't even fully established yet. Like they're still installing plays. So something that worked last year might not work this year. maybe Zach Wilson doesn't feel comfortable this year. Maybe like a rookie like Garrett Wilson doesn't feel comfortable. Whatever the case may be, they might want to change a couple things up. Let me know what you guys think about that. But like I said, it's the second week of camp. I'm not too concerned about it. But it is what it is, man. You do want to. I think a real telling sign will be during the preseason games. That I think that they're going to play the starting offense will play the most in the second game. I think that they might play a couple drives during the first game. The second game, I think, like I said, is where we're going to see the most snaps, and then the third game, it might just be like a series or two, because at that point they kind of already know who their starters are. They're just getting ready for the season. So, I mean, it's a good thing for the defense though, because the defense was ranked 32. The defense was ranked dead last. And with the guys like DJ Reed, with Sauce Gardner. Oh, Gino, you're back.
Yes, sorry about that.
All right, I went to offense a little bit. I was just talking about Elijah Moore. I'm echoey again. Could you on your microphone? Did you run next door?
Yeah, we're good.
Coming live from Gino's neighbor's basement. Welcome back to Everything NYJ.
Thanks.
It's all right.
What were you talking about?
So I went over the defense, just saying that with Klon Alexander, it was a low risk, high reward signing, and that's paying off, because it didn't cost us much money. It's a 1-year deal, and if he does end up beating, whether it be like Nasruddin or Sherwood, whoever that other linebacker is going to be, then if he starts great, and if he does great and he doesn't get hurt, then maybe we sign him for another year. So I was talking about Klon Alexander a little bit, and then I switch it over to the offense. I was talking about Zach Wilson, how he started off hot with the 80-yard touchdown pass to Elijah Moore, and then he kind of burned out towards the end. I talked about Joe Flacco, that he had the 7-play drive, ending in a 1-yard touchdown pass to Jeff Smith. So if you want to, elaborate on those two, if you want to start off with Klon Alexander in the defense, take it away.
So, yeah, going back to he had a good day. The coaches love him. Coach Olbrook loved him. I mean, he brings a certain type of juice. Everyone wants to be with him on the field. He loves Mosley. He loves he loves that San Francisco connection, and that's what you want. You want to come back to a system that you're familiar with, because it was down to the Seahawks. Sorry, it was down to the Saints, Jets, and Giants. And actually, Saleh called him and said, "You ready?" And boom.
Doesn't it feel great when a player chooses to be here?
Oh,
Unlike a Tyreek Hill that it came out of the Jets and the Dolphins, and he obviously chose the Dolphins, and then just really bashed the Jets ever since. It just feels really good when a player wants to be here. And I mentioned that too while you were away, that Klon Alexander wanted to be here. Laken Tomlinson wanted to be here. CJ Azuma wanted to be here. It's nice that these veteran players want to be here, and I think that's going to make a huge difference.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. It feels good. It feels good. Not only that, he hasn't lost a step. He's been doing all these reps, and he's been doing all these things before he signed with the Jets. I mean, in his press conference, he even said, Rich Cimini asked him, "Why do you think you got signed on a team yet?" He was like, "I don't know, but I chose the Jets at the end of the day, and I wanted to be here, and that's what you want." He never stopped.
So refreshing.
He never stopped.
So refreshing.
And I mean, like I said, he's in great shape. Everyone's surprised. He's ready and prepared. He had a great tackle today, and he let everybody know. And
yes, he did.
And he loves the defense surrounding this. He loves the players so far. He says he feels the spark. He feels the spark. And
that's what you want to hear.
And he says he always wanted that chip on his shoulder. He loves the chip. He loves. He also loves when he can grow the players a little bit, the rookies. He mentioned that a little bit, and also the familiarity. He mentioned DJ Reed too, and DJ Reed, him and DJ kind of came up at the same time, so that's
right.
That's really cool, and also he said he feels legendary. He feels legendary. He feels like the Pro Bowler that he was a few years ago. And, I mean, that's great. I love hearing that.
That confidence is going to spread throughout the locker room, and that defense is going to be feeling like $1,000,000, as they should.
Right.
I
Exactly.
think it's much upgraded, considering that they were ranked 32nd in the league last year,
Yeah, agreed.
with a couple nice, whether it be a veteran edition or a rookie edition.
Right.
I think it's only going to help the defense. I mean, let's face it, the defense can't go backwards. You can't
Right.
do worse than 32.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean,
But
not only that, I mean, what Jeff said today, Jeff Olbrook. I mean, he says he doesn't feel any holes. Like he doesn't think that there's holes on the defense. I know, us fans, like me and you have talked about before. We want some upgrades here. We want some upgrades here. I mean, he feels like he's got a star in Alexander already. I mean, he can't stop talking about Jacob Martin. He can't stop talking about DJ Reed, and even with the new signings, and with Sauce. Sauce gets mentioned on a daily basis. I mean, it's like when we drafted
yeah,
Revis. It's like when we drafted Revis. He got mentioned on a daily basis. And not only that, I mean, he's loving what he's seeing out of Curry and Carl Lawson, and also with JJ as well. It's just people got to take their reps. People got to keep coming in and out, and people got to step up. And I think the defense has stepped up. I mean, in a big way. Just like we talked about a few days ago, they're gonna have to cut football players on this team. Some really
yeah,
good players. I
guys
mean,
that are going to get picked up like immediately.
I mean, the competition is good. We haven't had that in a very long time, and that's what he. I mean that's what he likes. He likes the first block went good, which is week 1 of training camp. He said that went really well. Everyone is fitting in really well. It's a new mentality. Kawan is in there. He says everything with competition is always. That's what Salah always says about LaFleur, and competition, and we're getting that. We're getting that.
Yeah, and the best players are going to be the ones starting. The best players are going to be. It's going to be the best Jets players are going to be starting week 1, and that's what you want. There's no more settling. There's no more. Um, this is who we have, so he's going to go out there. We have
Right.
some legitimate football players on this team that are looking to make plays and that could do damage.
Right.
Even if it's somebody like a Michael Clemens that just wants to punch you in your face.
And he will.
We're going to have these, and he will. It's been a long time, I think, since when they see Michael Clemens walking into training camp without his shirt on. If he's doing that on the field before the game, there's going to be
Right.
players on that other bench going, "Oh my God, I got to go up against this guy, and I'm going to get my jaw rocked."
He is going to get
And
his
yeah, you hear that, Tom Brady? We're going to rock your jaw, bitch.
Okay, Liam. All
Yeah,
right.
I'm getting a little excited. I love
You
Michael
are getting
Clemens.
excited.
Anyway,
I love
point
that.
being that these aggressive players are going to be the ones on the field, and I mean the standard isn't we can't get any worse, right? That's Adam Gase talk. It's a
Exactly.
new regime here. Well, second year of the new regime, and like I think it's just key. It's absolutely key that there's players that want to be here. I can't stress that enough, because when's the last time you heard a Jets player say, "Yeah, I want to be here"? Like
Yeah.
they say it. They say it, briefly because it's the right thing to do in their opening press conference or whatever.
Right.
But you really get that sense in the locker room that these guys want to be here.
Yeah.
And like I said, that's contagious. These young guys are going to be like, you know what? I think I am. I think I did just get drafted to something that's going to be special in a couple years.
Well,
Sauce Gardner, he's going to be special. And,
right.
JJ, like you say, he's going to be special. Carl Lawson is kind of a first year Jet, because we don't really know what he can do on the Jets because we haven't seen him play a game yet.
Right.
And
Yeah.
we know his history and everything, but I just think I don't know, man. Like not to beat a dead horse, but like I said, I just think it's gonna be contagious, and everybody in that locker room knows that there's gonna be something special coming out of one Jets drive, man. What do you think, Gino?
I mean, that's what we want. That's what we hear, but we haven't seen this in a long time. We haven't
Right.
seen the stuff that. I mean, let's be honest. I haven't seen something like this since the Rex days. I haven't seen something like this since, Coach Edwards. It's even when Brett Favre was here. it's not only special, it's what the fans crave, and also just there's so much competition. The AFC is so stacked. There's so many factors to play now. It's not like the NFC now. I feel like the NFC's talent has kind of gone down, but the AFC keeps rising. If the AFC, if a lot of those players stayed in the NFC, I think it would be a little bit more easier, but it's really hard to win a Super Bowl. I mean, it's hard to win any type of trophy ever. So
Absolutely.
it's I would say we'll blow everyone out of the water, but I can't because the AFC got better.
Right.
But we do have that confidence, and players crave to be in the best um, division. They crave to be in the best league. So this just fuels their fire. It fuels their fire.
Absolutely. And it's like, yes, the AFC got better, but the Jets got better too. And if
Exactly.
you want to be a good football team, you got to beat good teams. I say that every week, and it's the truth. We can't use the AFC is stacked as an excuse to lose football games.
Right.
And you're going to have those trap games that, you see it every week, that teams aren't supposed to lose, and teams that aren't supposed to win.
Right.
And the Jets need to get on the other side of that. The Jets need to be a team that, hey, they weren't supposed to be like we saw with the Titans and the Bengals last year. Hey, they weren't supposed to beat those guys, but hey, look at the Jets. They're making some noise over there. The Jets
Right.
just went on the road and beat the Packers. I mean, that might be a loss. That's going to be a hard game, but they're coming back from London a week before that, and there's no bye right there. So you're telling me that a fresh Jets team can't beat a tired, jet-lagged Packers team? There's
Yeah.
going to be a couple of those trap games that the Jets need to win.
Yeah.
And I think that's I think there's going to be a different feeling in the locker room this year. And the biggest difference, I said while you were gone, the biggest difference between this team and the Rex team. Now, granted, the Rex team was great because there was a lot of veterans on that team, well established. There's more unknowns on this team, but I think there's more potential because these guys are going to be around a lot longer. A lot of these guys are still on the rookie contracts,
Right.
which is fantastic. Mekhi Becton's on his rookie contract.
Right.
Brees Hall, Michael Carter, Elijah Moore. So this team is going to be together for longer. Because that Rex team, as fast as it came up, is as fast as it came down.
Right.
They had, and that was really Eric Mangini's team. Eric Mangini was trying to build something special there, but
I agree.
I think that if these guys stay together, we have a solid 3-4 years with these guys. And then, if they're playing above the level that Joe Douglas is expecting, then yeah, they're gonna get re-signed.
Yeah.
And kind of like the 49ers, like they're an expensive team right now. They just gave Debo, a crap ton of money, and Nick Bosa is gonna get paid soon.
True.
You know, so I think that we might be an expensive team. We're not gonna have the most cap in the NFL every year, but that's also not the goal.
Yeah.
Um, Joe Douglas, he likes to acquire. Joe Douglas is an acquirer, so somebody like a Bryce Hall, like I don't want to see him go. He's a team guy. They're super passionate about him. But if our other corners are lighting it up, and if somebody else's corner goes down, and they call the Jets and say, hey, listen, like we're willing to give you X, Y, and Z for Bryce Hall,
Mm.
Joe Douglas, I don't think would bat an eye about it.
Right. I think so.
You know?
It's just really going to come down to the end of training camp and the end of off season because we got Moses out of nowhere. So
Right.
and then we got Shaq Lawson in the middle of the season. So
Yep. Quincy Williams as well.
I mean, you just never know. I mean, switching the subject here. Michael Carter 2. Now the Michael Carter 2. He said the
MC2,
feeling.
MC squared.
Yeah, there you go. He said he's loving what everyone's on defense. He said the connections are great. The coaches are deliberate and they're detailed and they're on point. So basically what I'm hearing from that is, Michael Carter's like they're tough, but they want you to be a perfectionist. And
Yeah.
I mean, and on the same page in my opinion. I mean, I mean, even LaFleur has said before, Michael Carter doesn't look like he's worried as he was last year. Because last year, he kind of took on a full load. This year, he looks more relaxed. He knows the offense a little more. That's what I'm hearing from the other Michael Carter. That they're excited about the future. It's a good fit. Sauce is asking a lot of questions, and he's not like, oh, me. He he's learning. That's what's been
Right.
kind of the biggest highlight right now is the rookies are asking a lot of questions, and that
That's good.
and they're not like being prima donnas. So
Right. Right. Right.
it's all a great fit. But switching gears, the uh, the coordinator, Mike Westhoff's old position, um,
Brent Boyer,
yeah, he was on the
special
podium today.
teams coach.
Yeah, special teams, and he had some good things to say. He said both kickers are doing really well. They're tied at the moment,
Okay.
but they both fixed what he wanted them to fix. And he wants consistency at the kicking position because he thinks that's the most need. He said Eddie
Oh
Pinheiro did
yeah.
really. He said Eddie Pinheiro did very well last year at the end of the season, but he adjusted the rise on the ball, and that's really good to hear because there's a lot of Eddie Pinheiro fans, and
Yeah, I'm one of
he
them.
yeah, he wants consistency though in special teams overall. He wants that fighting spirit that he had from at the end of season last year. He said Greg the Leg is perfect. He's just perfect. He only had to adjust
Perfect.
one thing. He only had to adjust one thing. He said the flight to adjust. He said sometimes it'll curve left, sometimes it'll curve right, but he just wants consistency with the flight. And I mean, listen, I know from experience with Greg the Leg, he frustrates the hell out of me. Okay, he
Right.
always has with the Rams, and I know my brother-in-law is a Cowboy fan, so he's expressed his, But I think if it's going to come down to Eddie Pinheiro and it's going to come down to Greg the Leg, it's all about who's going to make the most field goals, and that's what he said. It's the most field goals in the games, three preseason games, and also
Right.
who's got the most height, who's got the most flight, who's got the most rise, everything. And I mean, in my opinion, I think that's great. He talked some big talk though today about Man though. Brennan Man.
Can I, before you continue, can I ask you, is there a situation, is there any way that you think that they keep both kickers on the team?
I don't think so. I think it's
You
always.
don't think so?
I think it's just going to be one,
Okay.
or they might pick up someone.
All right. That's fair enough.
Yeah, that's just my opinion. I mean, if they're going to go with two quarterbacks, why not just have one kicker and one punter? I think that's.
I agree. But a couple years ago, typical Jets luck, our kicker got hurt.
And our punter got hurt.
Our punter, yeah. Yep.
Both of them
Jesus.
got hurt.
All right, I didn't mean to cut you off about that. It's just.
You're fine. It's a great question because Boyer is really high on Man this year. I mean, he thinks this is going to be his biggest year yet. So
Okay.
I mean,
I'm here for it.
I mean, that's what we want. I mean, he's not old. He's still young. So it's
Yeah.
He says he looks good. He's going to be good. He's going to be better. And I'm here for it. Now there is competition, with the kick returner and punt returner right now. But he says that Berrios is their guy, and he will continue to be their guy. But Rashard Davis is making a splash. Rashard Davis has shown a lot of promise. He's had some really good runs. He's had some really good routes. But at the same time, it's like I wouldn't mind having one and then the other one too. I wouldn't mind keeping Rashard for special teams if it does come down to that. But Berrios did very good at kick returner and punt returner as well.
That's his bread and butter.
Yeah, I'm here for all the competition, like they keep stressing. I'm here for it.
I don't know if Braxton Berrios would have gotten his contract if he wasn't a kick and punt returner, or a punt returner, I should say.
Or if he didn't have a big year going into.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, like he earned it as a wide receiver, but I think going to the Pro Bowl as the punt returner was really the cherry on the top. I think that's kind of like what put him over that hump.
We will know by the end of training camp and by the end of preseason because that's when it's going to be most crucial. If Rashard stepped up or if Jeff Smith stepped up, we don't know. But Berrios, they love Berrios as of now.
Right, and the thing with preseason is, like with the first team offense, I think they'll play a couple series in the first game. The second game, because this is only the second year with the 3 games, the second game, I think is going to be the game that you see the most out of the first team offense and defense for that matter. And then the third preseason game, I think it's going to dwindle down, probably just like one series each, I would say.
Right.
And then we're going to see Flacco and Mike White getting some reps.
I agree. I agree. I think they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna go too hard. I think they're gonna
And
treat it.
I'm really excited for the green and white scrimmage this year too because
Yeah, Saturday,
which
August 6th.
yeah, because I hope they kind of run it like last year I was there. It was more of just like a practice, you know. It's like it would hike the ball, blow the whistle, hike the ball, blow the whistle. Oh, Zach Wilson just threw a deep ball. Okay, I hope it's more of a green versus white, and like you don't want to see the injuries, but I think they need those live reps. And if anybody's watching, if anybody is going to the green and white scrimmage, please comment below or tweet me at everything NYJ. We could definitely meet up and grab a beer or something. Like I said, I got my tickets. I will be there. Looking forward to seeing everybody else there. Just wanted to plug that real quick.
Oh, I love that. Well, I hope you have a fun time. I'm jealous, but I hope you have
Yeah,
a
I
great
wish you could
time.
come, man. But hey, man, you're going to the great one.
Oh, I know. I'm so excited. I mean, it's not only that though. It's there's a lot of people going tomorrow. That'll be fun. I'm really excited for people
Yeah,
for tomorrow with that. I know a lot of my buddies are going. Are you going? No, you're not going. No,
I can't make it out during the week. I
that's
don't think I will. I don't want to say ever, but I don't know when I would ever be able to attend a Jets day training camp.
yeah,
And it's only like 90 minutes, and it would take me
yeah,
longer to get there
yeah,
than I would
yeah.
be actually
And
there.
parking too. That's really
Parking, yeah. So I don't know. I don't see that like on my horizon. If the opportunity presents itself and I'm
right,
able to do it, I would do it. But I don't see when that opportunity would come.
right.
You
Yeah,
know. But
I'm
it is what it is. I'm glad I get to go to the scrimmage every year. You know.
yeah, that'll be fun. I'm really
Yep,
excited for
definitely,
it. So,
definitely.
my top things today for training camp day 5 is, um, Fant. He's still doing drills. He's not out there yet. He's not doing 11 on 11 right now, but they're hopeful this week.
No reason to rush
But
them.
I agree. There's no reason to rush him. There's a lot of old line depth issues, even though other people like are getting their work in, like McDermott and
Adoga.
Idoga. That's
Yep.
much needed for Fant behind, but I don't think it's the long term solution. But I'm glad they're getting their reps in. Flacco is still rolling. I am excited. If Zach Wilson goes down, which you never know, I'm happy that
God
Flacco
forbid.
is. I'm happy Flacco is there. I'm super happy about that.
I don't want to see him on the field though.
I don't know. I'm kind of back and forth. I'm okay if Zach Wilson is not out there for a little bit. I want. I'm just loving Flacco here too much. I really am. If Zach Wilson's great, if he makes those strides, great. If Flacco's out there, great. I want a good backup, even if our starter can't do it. I mean,
Right.
that's what depth that they keep talking about.
We're not used to
Alex
depth.
Alexander's fitting in really nicely. Mims is, we talked about Mims. He's always back and forth. And then, Zach Wilson went, three for zero today. He had one good play, but he ended up finished with four for seven with 3 sacks on him. The second and third team just dominated today. They kept
Couple
plugging the
three and
ball
outs.
downfield, and Flacco had a good touchdown with that one. Moore had 4 catches. Jeff Smith had a touchdown today. Whitehead had a tackle and interception. Lawson had a sack. Rankins had a sack. Flacco, he like I said, he had a really good deep ball to Jeff Smith. It's really cool to see all that. I'm really happy with all that. Coleman, he worked on the side. He's still week by week, but they're hoping. Saleh did say in his press conference today that they're hoping to get him back later in the week because of his illness. But Fant is close to return, so breathe easy. Fant is close to return, just like Coleman is. But I think the biggest story of injury right now, and I think me and you can agree with this, is Rucker. Rucker is still dealing with his foot
Yeah.
injury. Rucker is still dealing with his foot injury, and it's going to be quite some time before he comes back. Everything will keep changing as we go, but I really hope Rucker comes back and he just lifts it up.
Well, the thing with Ruckert is, I don't know even if he was healthy, I'm not sure how many reps he would get.
Yeah,
He's
it's like
a
JK.
clear tight end 3,
Right.
and I'm sure like he'll see a couple. I'm sure he'll see the field a couple times. I don't think you could count on both hands how many times he'd be on the field this year. I just think that
Right.
the tight end room is stacked right now, and that's not to say that he doesn't have a bright future. And
Right.
the goal is to one day have him become that tight end one, but I don't see it happening this year. So I would rather him just deal with his injury, get healthy, get 100%, and that goes even with George Fant. Don't rush anybody back, and just do it that way, man. We've seen it so many times in the past where we rush guys back. We saw it with Mekhi Becton a couple years ago. We saw it with
Agreed.
C.J. Mosley. These
Agreed.
guys come back and they're not ready, and then it delays them even longer.
It's not healthy. It's not healthy for our team to keep doing.
No, not at all.
But I mean, I'm glad that we're, taking the strides and being patient with guys. I mean, like being patient with JJ. I know Max Mitchell had an injury today. We haven't heard any updates on Max Mitchell, but I heard he was limping off. So I'm hoping that he comes back because we need him for reps. So
Oh, absolutely.
I'm hoping that he's okay.
But all right, is that everything, Gino? Or
I think we're good. I'm good. I'm good. And I mean, there's a lot coming up this week. It's going to be so much fun, with pads, and then we have Harrison Glazer on Wednesday, and then
Yep.
and then tomorrow I'll be on Gangrene Germany, and then I know you're doing a video tomorrow, and it's going to keep plugging along, man. It's going to be a great
Absolutely.
August for us.
Harrison Glazer, Take Flight Spit and Fire podcast. Super excited for that. He's the owner of the Take Flight Media. So
Right.
definitely looking forward to bringing him on. Going to be super fun talking Jets with him. Like I said, I am going to the Green and White scrimmage, so probably Sunday I will have the review video for that. Going to try my best. Work has just been super crazy, just so everybody knows. I still love you guys. I'm not trying to ignore you. It's been super crazy, man, but I got to do my best. I'm going to try to get videos out as often as possible this week. So, with that being said, thank you everybody. If you liked the video, thumbs up. Below that's the subscribe button. Hit that so we can keep bringing on guys like Harrison Glazer. We have August is going to be stacked. Everybody, stay tuned. August is a stacked month. I guarantee you're going to love our guests that are coming on. So Gino, any last words before we go?
Honestly, jet up.
Jet up. JETS. 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 It's been a blast talking to everybody. Thank you guys for watching episode number 37 of the Everything NYJ podcast. Y'all take care now. Goodbye. Have a good one.